Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another What's Cooking in DBD episode. Today we're here at just the developer update. I haven't read too much about it, I just saw some kind of excerpts from it, but let's just jump right into the developer update and kind of break it down to see what are the changes, what things remained from the PTV, what things changed from the PTV, and whether this might be a good change or not. So, and this is just my opinion. Alright, so of course, the first thing is healing. Healing is the first thing that we're going for. Okay, so probably the hottest topics they're saying it was the base increase to 24 seconds since the usual was 16. So they have reverted back to base healing to 16 seconds. They're reverting it back to 16 seconds. That's perfect. Medkits. First and foremost, all medkits will have a total of 24 changes, so they're leaving it the same as the PTB. Second, increased healing speed bonus when healing others across all medkits. So the Campen 8 medkit, that's the brown medkit. It would be increases the speed that you heal others by 35%. The yellow medkit, the first aid kit, increases the healing speed that you heal others. They increases the speed that you heal others by 40%. The emergency medkit, which increases the speed that you heal others by 45%. And then we have the ranger medkit, which increases the speed that you heal others by 50%. Third, all medkits will have a 33% speed and efficiency penalty when using for self-healing. Okay, so if you use them for yourself, so by default they will grant you one self, so it's basically in a span of 24 seconds. So the healing with medkits is longer. Okay, combined with these changes will decrease the power of medkits when used for self-healing, but increase the power for healing return. Yeah, I mean, it kind of incentivizes people to be more altruistic, to heal others, to kind of help others out. I think this is a good change. All the tweaks to the medkit add-ons. So we have the rubber gloves, new effect, increases the great skill check success zone by 10%. Butterfly tape increases healing speed by 5%, was 3. The sponge new effect, this is a new effect, increases the great skill check success zone by 20%. The needle and thread added effect increases progression bonus for succeeding a great skill check by 5%. It removes the bonus blood points for hitting great skill checks. The medical scissors increases healing speed by 10%. It was 12, so a 2% decrease. The surgical suture, I can't speak. I promise I went to school. Added effect increases progression bonus for succeeding a great skill check by 10%. They removed the effect that doesn't provide blood points. So I'm seeing a pattern here. They're releasing some of the blood point bonuses, releasing some of the healing speeds, releasing some of the kind of those things, and then adding some bonuses for great skill checks, I'm assuming for when you're healing other people. The abdominal dressing increases healing speed by 15, it was 20. Rarity increased to very rare, was rare. Gel dressings added 16, charges of medkit was 14. Okay. Rarity increased to ultra rare, was rare. Anti-mortality syringe, while this item is unchanged, please note the healing speed will be reduced by the medkit's self-healing penalty, resulting in 24-second heal by default. I mean, it's not bad. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think this is perfect. I think that the really short amount of time that people were able to use the anti-hemorrhagic syringes was very short. So I think this is a good change. I like this. I think it's perfect to give it that. The Hillbilly. I don't play Hillbilly, but I know that a lot of people were talking about how it would be death to the Hillbilly if they changed the engraving add-ons. So for the release, they have reverted the changes to the death engravings and doom engraving add-ons. We have kept the tweaks to the overheat mechanic to make it less limiting than before, making the Hillbilly feel better to play. Awesome. Great win for Hillbilly players. I think this shows also too, like, if you rally and you give enough constructive feedback to behavior and you push it enough, of course, I think they will listen to you. The perks. So there's a couple changes for perks that happened during the PTB. Most importantly, Dead Hard, Score Chuck, Call Brian, and all those perks. So let's just see what are the things that are different, what are the things that are the same from the PTB. Dead Hard. Okay, so they wanted to reduce the amount of time that Dead Hard could be used. So it would require you in the PTB to safely unhook someone to activate the perk, which was, it's kind of pushing killers to kind of tunnel that person that just got unhooked, because they probably not gonna have Dead Hard. So someone pointed out that this design indirectly encourages the character to chase the unhooked survivor. Of course, yes, tunneling, which is a very good problem. This makes a lot of sense. The unhooker may have activated their Dead Hard, but you can be sure the unhooked survivor doesn't have it. So for the release, they've changed their to instead activate when you're unhooked or unhook yourself. So now that works kind of like BT. That means that you will have the BT base kit, and then Dead Hard will activate. So if you get hit off the hook, you already have Dead Hard activated. You can of course mend and then use Dead Hard. That way the unhooked survivor becomes less clear target for the killer. Great change. I think this is much better because I do understand you don't want people to use Dead Hard in the first chase. Like I think that change I completely understand. So when you get unhooked, that means that you can only use Dead Hard twice. I guess if you actually get the endurance state, of course, twice each game. If you don't get the endurance state, of course you don't lose it, I don't think. So that should keep it more in balance. People are still going to use it. I think this is such a good change that some people might not use it anymore, but I think it's still going to be a powerful perk to use. Score Choke on the killer side was changed to only activate the first time each survivor is placed on a score choke, which means that will give it 4 tokens and that's it. They say that it's specifically made to reduce the time that it could be used, of course. I mean, there's people who keep spamming the score choke and it makes it impossible to finish it in. So what are they changing? Considering score choke can only be activated 4 times in a match and requires the killer to target different survivors, we feel comfortable making it more rewarding for the killer to choose to take on the added challenge. Therefore, we have increased the regression amount to 15, 20, and 25% was, oh, holy shit. So now, so they technically pseudo buffed it, but you can only use it 4 times. I think it also incentivizes people to not tunnel and to actually like hook the 4 different survivors once. I also think, or it could also just push people to tunnel a little bit more. I guess we'll see how this works in the live servers, because you could use it in a way where you tunnel a survivor out of the hook, right? You hook them twice, and then you wait until kind of mid game to use it on the other 3 survivors and just completely fucking wreck them. But I think it's still great that it's just 4 tokens and you can't. That's it. You're done. Circle of Healing. The perk no longer grants the ability to self heal, so they kept that. Circle of Healing found itself in an awkward spot. The ultra exceeding speed was nice, but when you crunch the numbers, Circle of Healing really provided any benefit. Yeah, I mean, it was not going to be any helpful. A 50% heal bonus would only shave roughly 5%. Yeah, like it was like this perk was basically dead. Okay, so what are they doing to change it? With this in mind, we have increased the healing speed bonus on healing to 50, 75, 100%. It was 40, 45, and 50. Holy shit, so they doubled for the tier 3. They doubled the healing speed for others. While this won't make it setting up or running the boon the optimal choice in every situation, we expect this to make it more impactful with the boon is nearby. I think this will work very well with the different boon. I don't know if it's Circle Healing by itself might not be the best. I mean, I guess if you're someone who's playing like in a Swift, someone can bring Circle Healing, and the speed to healing others might be really fast. So if you want to get to save someone from the hook, it will be perfect. Okay, Auto Haven Wreckers. This is what I think one of the last changes maybe. They managed to sneak in one more change to other Haven Wreckers map. A while back, we added some new tiles to the realm. One of these tiles, which featured a window and pallet, ended up being unfairly safe. We rebalanced this tile, but it unfortunately didn't make it to the PTB in time. However, an updated version of this tile will be available upon release. Take a look. Huh. So it's like a 4-lane? I think the pallet will spawn here, right? In the window right here? Something like that. I think these changes are great. I think it's a good changes from that. So I'm assuming that everything else stays the same that was in the PTB. So I'm assuming that the blood web stuff stays the same and all the other changes will stay the same. I honestly think that this is a good change for the most part. Circle of Healing is kind of sad that it's kind of somewhat gone in its form, but it's still, I guess, in some ways somewhat useful. Dead Hard is still powerful in my opinion. Scorch Hook will still be very powerful. They left Call of Brine and Overcharge the same from the PTB, so that's very, grounded to the fucking floor pretty much. I still think that people are gonna start using Scorch Hook with Deadman's, and I think Ruin is gonna make a comeback as well, like Ruin, Deadman's, and Scorch Hook. I think it'll be a great kind of combination. I mean, of course, Ruin is a hex, so people can find it, but I think in the beginning of the game, it might force people to spend some time looking for Ruin. And yeah, I think it's gonna shake up some of the things in Dead by Daylight. The healing stuff, I'm glad that they reverted back the changes to 16 seconds. That 24 seconds was just ridiculous, and 20 would have been all right, but it was still just ridiculous in terms of like how the game is in its current state. I don't mind the medkit changes as much as I said in previous videos. Overall, I'm pretty happy with these changes from the PTV. I think they did listen to most of the things that people had to say, and they took the criticism from the PTP, and they implemented it into the changes coming, I think, in 2 weeks, I think, or next week. I can't remember when the update is coming. I think it's in 2 weeks. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you think the changes are good, if they're bad. Let's have just conversations. Don't start yelling at each other or, arguing with each other in a way where it's just calling each other names or saying that your opinion is more valid than the other person. I will remove the comments. But other than that, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.